City Football Club has revealed it made more than £2 million from the sale of land next to Carrow Road. The sale went through after the period covered in the club's annual accounts. The figures show Norwich's debt fell from £22.9 million to £20.9 million in the year ending in May. The club has also restructured its long-term debts.
We have some budget left for Paul in the forthcoming window. It's not millions and millions of pounds, but we have some money available, which the board and Paul have been aware of throughout the whole time. It's up to Paul who he allows to come to the football club as part of his squad, and indeed it's up to Paul if he ever decides to allow any of the players to leave.
So, while Norwich City's financial prospects improve, Ipswich Town face a cup quarter-final against a team from the Premier League.
Yes, it will be a relatively inexperienced Ipswich side which faces West Bromwich Albion tonight. Donovan Blake sets the scene now for us with the kick-off less than 90 minutes away.
The hot food traders around Portman Road should do pretty good business on such a cold night, although I guess a win for Ipswich against Premier League opposition should be enough to warm the hearts of their supporters. They'll still have bitter memories of Sunday's big derby defeat at Norwich on Sunday, and although a place in the Carling Cup semi-finals won't totally erase those thoughts, it'll go a long way towards that. Mind you, the odds are heavily stacked against Roy Keane's team, with West Bromwich Albion, managed by former MK Dons boss Roberto Di Matteo, evens favourites. And Ipswich could be without 11 members of their senior squad. Players cup-tied or injured make up the bulk of absentees. Nevertheless, Roy Keane hopes the occasion will be enough for the fans to give their full support tonight, even though he now accepts it will be difficult to win back those who have turned against him.
I can understand the doom and gloom among the supporters. I'm not here to try and produce a magic wand and say everything's going to be fine. It's not going to get any easier. We need a bit of bravery from our players in terms of receiving the ball and wanting to come to Portman Road tomorrow and say, listen, there's a chance of getting the semi-final of the Cup. Very few are expecting Ipswich to make progress tonight. Mind you, not many expected the holders, Manchester United, to be knocked out by West Ham 4-0 yesterday. So could it be another night for the underdogs? We'll have the result in our late bulletin at around 10:30. Donovan Blake, Anglia News, Ipswich.
And we've had confirmation of that 7:45 kick-off time at Portman Road. Ipswich say the game is going ahead despite the cold weather, and tickets are still available on the gate if you're brave enough.
This time tomorrow, we'll know if England will get to host the Football World Cup in 2018.
Yes, fingers crossed. A Prince and a Prime Minister have been in Zurich to boost England's bid, and they're back here. Just about every finger possible has been crossed, like mine were, at the home of MK Dons.
Because victory for England could bring some of the world's best players to Milton Keynes. Martin Stewart explains.
After all the scandal and all the hype, in 21 hours we'll know whether England have won the bid. And in Milton Keynes, excitement is building.
It's so tense. It's been a really tense few weeks, really, altogether. But when you look at who we've got out in Zurich at the moment, David Beckham doing a most fantastic job. You know, Prince William, we hear, up with the larks this morning, meeting people. And, of course, David Cameron going straight back out after question time. You can't really ask for more support than that. So, you know what? With 24 hours to go, we're feeling a little bit more excited.
Despite Russia being the bookies' favourite, Bex is still upbeat.
You know, a lot of my games over the last 10 years have been won in the last few minutes, and a lot of the biggest games that I've played in. So I know how important it is now to keep going and, right up to the decision, and that will be Thursday.
If England do win the bid at 3 p.m. tomorrow, the Stadium MK has an excellent chance of being chosen as one of the 12 to host matches.
I'd love it, especially if they all look like David Beckham, because he's doing a great job.
Yeah, I'd love it, yeah. I think it would be good for the economy, and Milton Keynes especially, because you might get the football at the stadium.
There's up to about 3 games that can be held in this area. Each one has the economic value impact of about 150 million in terms of tourist and visitor attraction and hotel stays. So it's huge.
But on top of the obvious financial implications, there's also reputation that you can't put a price on. Since Milton Keynes was announced as being involved in the bid, the Chamber of Commerce have already had requests to be twinned with the Ivory Coast and Ghana. That puts the aspirational city on the international map, and just like football, the bid has been a team effort.
We're so grateful for the support from St Neots, Russell & Diamonds, Northampton, even as far as Ipswich and Norwich, who are all part with their team base camps, part of our bid going forward.
As news Vladimir Putin has pulled out of a trip to Zurich came through this afternoon, England's odds of winning the bid have improved from 13-8 to 6-5, and excitement in North Buckinghamshire has grown even higher. Martin Stew, Anglia News, Milton Keynes.
It will be fantastic news for Milton Keynes if England gets
and the whole region,
and the
really.
whole region. You're right, absolutely right. Now, for villagers of Coggeshall in Essex, their Christmas tree has been a talking point for over 25 years. But they never imagined it would be mentioned, I should say, in the House of Commons.
But now it has, and it's all down to health and safety, as Laura Burns reports.
Peter Farmer's desk is quite literally covered in paperwork. As a Chamber of Trade's treasurer, he's waded through 32 pages of health and safety questions and waited months for a licence. All for this tree.
There were a number of things that we were going to have to do in order to get the licence this year. We were going to have to provide maps of where the tree was going to be situated, where all the lights were going to be and what type of lights. The risk assessment, Emily, is the icing on the cake of futile things that we had to do.
It doesn't really look like it poses much of a danger to society, but in fact it's been causing all sorts of controversy. So much so that last week the local MP even raised the matter in the House of Commons.
Bureaucracy's gone mad in this country. We need to bring back some proper common sense to local decision-making as well and let people decide, because on something like putting up a Christmas tree, it is ridiculous.
For children here, the tree is an annual treat, but for organisers, this year's been hard work.
It's, something we're trying to do for the community and put on something for the children and that as well. We've had so much letter writing and paperwork to contend with that it has been an absolute nightmare, really.
In a statement, Essex County Council said, every town that wants to put a Christmas tree up requires a licence. This has always been the case, and Coggeshall had never obtained one in the past. Extra consideration had to be given to this application, as the tree is placed in the middle of the highway, and the safety of highway users is the council's main priority. With the licence granted, Saturday's fair can go ahead. A big relief for event organisers, especially now they know all risks have been taken care of. Laura Burns, Anglia News.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
I know, a 32-page risk assessment for a Christmas tree. That's what my wife wants, actually, when I put ours up.
Here's what to expect on the national news in a couple of minutes.
Now, earlier today, I took an amazing picture of a fountain all frozen, but let's get the full forecast now with Amanda.